The Bookshelf with me, Ryan Tubridy, is brought to you by Ballymore. Founded by Sean Mulryan in 1982, Ballymore has long put arts and culture at the heart of what it does, from supporting artists and performers to weaving creativity into the neighbourhoods it builds. Alongside this cultural commitment, Ballymore creates places with soul. Its international portfolio is filled with award-winning workspaces, homes, shopping centres and entire neighbourhoods across Dublin, London, Bratislava, Prague and Berlin. Places where design, innovation and creativity come together and where people can live, work and play. Today on The Bookshelf, we are joined by one of Ireland's sharpest and funniest voices. It's Emma Doran. Whether it's stand-up or TV or viral sketches. Sounds kind of funny, doesn't it? Emma's a mix of honesty and humour, that is 2 H's, has struck a chord with audiences across Ireland and beyond. She's currently on the road with her biggest tour yet. It's called Immaculate, depending on how you pronounce it. We'll get to that in a second. So we are delighted to have her with us to share the books that have shaped her life. What a pleasure to see you again. Emma, welcome.
How are you? Thanks for having me.
Well, I'm really glad you came today because I don't know you very well. And
Yes.
we met kind of pretty much once before when you were on the Late Late Show.
Yes.
And you had a couple of friends with you. I think we had a couple of drinks afterwards in the green room.
Yeah, I brought a couple of friends.
How was that for you?
It was great.
Is that your first time on the Late Late Show?
That was my first time on the Late Late. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
I fell in love with you.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, he's amazing.
And she's so funny. Yeah,
had
it was
a
a
great
great time.
time.
Did it do well for you? I mean, did it?
It did. It was
translate
great.
into ticket sales and things like that?
Straight away, I could see my little phone hopping. And then I think, I think as well as on stage, I had to reference it for a while because there was a joke that I did with you that wasn't in the show, so I had to reference that joke because people kind of wanted to hear it.
They wanted to hear that one.
Yeah, so I had a joke about the silent ride.
Yes, I remember that.
So I had to kind of change the joke a bit to reference the fact that I explained it to you.
I forgot about the silent ride.
Yeah, so I really had to because people started shouting like late Ryan Tubbs, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have to restructure
Explain
this.
it. So how did you explain it?
The silent ride, basically, I was talking about that when you kind of have to move back home maybe to save, and you and your partner, yeah, do you remember it now? And you're doing the silent ride, and you're kind of like, you're not making any noise, and then you might hear your mother say to your father, we'll have to have that chicken tomorrow. And this kind of thing. And then you're like, oh, I wonder what it'll be paprika. So it was so people enjoyed it. And now I'm more talking about the looming ride.
The looming ride?
So I don't have the silent ride anymore. Now I have the looming ride. So basically I'm with my lovely fella, about 18 years.
Yeah.
So we have this thing now where sometimes we let it go too long. And it's like, we need to have a ride.
Yeah.
But nobody kind of wants to have the ride. But you're kind of like, if we had a ride, he might fix that shed or
Oh, so it's a transactional ride.
Yes, it's to recalibrate the equilibrium in the house.
Yes.
But it's the kind of ride where you go, you're not like getting undressed or talking. It's just like, we get that done now, and because I want to watch my show.
Okay, let's talk about you, because like I say, I don't really know you very well, but I know you're doing really, really well, and
I'm trying. Come on, I'm still in Ireland. Fingers and pies. Fingers and pies.
No, but it's
podcasts, videos, stand-up.
You have to do everything. We'll come to it all. But you've got a huge presence on Instagram. You keep coming up in my, is it algorithm or is it just in scrolling?
Yes.
And I just find myself hoping that you'll come back again because I want more. Because you're very, very funny. Your observations on the world, and you just film it at home, and you're very deadpan, so it's kind of droll, and you're describing people who we all know in a way that's. I don't know how. It's like almost at the end of the day going, God, it's like world weary, but is it a character, would you say?
I don't know if it's the character.
It feels like a kind of a character.
It's kind of a character. I think the reality is, and I only figured out recently, that in real life, I do actually want everyone to be happy. I wouldn't say I'm a people pleaser, but I am very much, I'm fine, whatever. But then I'll go home or I'll get into my car and I'll send my friend a voice note. And I'll say, oh, you should have seen her one today. The face on her. And it's that release. So I think I'm just kind of doing that on videos now. And sometimes I do them and I say, oh, that is a bit much.
No. Okay, so there is a bit where you go.
Yeah, it's like a release thing. I think it's the stuff that you don't say at the time, or you just go, no, we're grand. It's like, we're grand. Fucking stay at this place. It's that kind of stuff.
Okay, the bad haircut.
Yeah.
You happy with
Thank
that?
you so much.
The solitary tear. Yeah, and you're just walking out. I mean, we are devils for that, and we do it with and the food is disgusting.
Disgusting.
The coffee's too cold, and you just go.
We do it
I mean,
all
and
the
then we
time.
say, how much do we pay them, and we tip them, and what's wrong with us?
My fella is the worst. Will occasionally go for real, and I've seen him before. Like someone come over, is everything okay? He said, that's lovely, thank you so much. He's like, this is fucking muck. I'm like, well, why didn't you say?
Why
He's
didn't
like, again, and we've sat before in restaurants where they've forgotten to put out the cutlery, and he's like, you're gonna have to say something. We're like, we've no cutlery. I'm like, you're a big boy. So you say to them, we cannot eat our food. He's like, I don't, no.
I don't want to get involved.
I don't want to get involved. I don't want to bother them. But it's like, knife and fork. That's like
pretty
minimal. Come on. So, it's a release for me.
Let's talk about growing up. Can you tell us, who's in the house? Brothers,
Family.
sisters, mum, dad, anyone else?
I have two older brothers. And then my mum, trained as a nurse. So she'd be kind of quite hippy dippy.
Oh.
Not into, she wouldn't be, I would have robbed her makeup and jewellery. Like that, and I've kind of you need to get more. She wasn't into any of that. And then my dad was a shouter.
Yeah,
I would say he was like, close the door, take that out. He was one of those dads. I'd be constantly like, oh God, he's said it again. But very, very funny. Would kind of perform for us.
Yeah,
and actually would do that thing. He would come back from the shop and talk about, he'd come back from the shop and he got into this fight with an old man with a stick, and we were like, oh my God, Jesus Christ, what were you doing? So he parked, and this old man with a walking stick came up to him and told him, you can't actually park there. My friend is trying to get a parking spot, can you move? And he's like, what the fuck are you talking? He had this big argument with him. He's like, these old people, he's like, they think they fucking run the place just because they're old. And we're all looking at him going, hello, pot kettle, what's going on? So he'd be quite, he would have kept us all entertained.
Yes.
And he would have been very my mum is more artistic, creative.
Interesting,
person. And really, really talented now. She could paint a still life. Whereas I'd go to paint something like that, I'm like, nah, boys, I'd be gone.
Yeah.
But she has the attention to detail for stuff like that. And I would even get her to cut my hair. She's really handy, really creative. My dad is more of an academic.
A reader, big
reader.
Newspapers, books, everything.
Everything. Not the simplex. Oh my God.
Oh my gosh, the hard one.
The hard one, yeah. And he did medicine. And then he dropped out after 2 years because he realised that he actually didn't like blood. Okay. But he was academic, so everyone was kind of saying, do medicine. Dropped out, and then he did law. And then he did employee relations. And then when I was whatever age, he went back and became a barrister. So he couldn't do that when I was younger because you have to devil for a year and you don't get paid and you can't advertise. So he wouldn't have been able to, he had a young family, couldn't afford that. But then he later went on and became a barrister. But he always would have been studying, doing something. That kind of person. Whereas my mom was kind of more, I want to fix this little cushion. Totally different personalities.
Totally different personalities.
Yes.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
So he was in the law library and doing all the wigs and gowns sort of thing.
Yeah. No, but this would have only been when I was late teens.
Yeah.
So the rest of my childhood, he wouldn't have been doing that. He would have been kind of doing employee relations and stuff like that.
Okay, so
big smoker.
Yeah.
Loved to smoke.
What
Still
brand?
does. B&H.
B&H,
Beautiful.
committed smoker.
Serious smoke.
Wow.
And then the brothers, they're like chalk and cheese. The two of them completely. They, how would I even describe them? One of them's kind of a bit of a nerd and then really into sport. So a nerd who's really into...
A nerd in sport, that's an unusual. That's a white covered twirl. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's a nerd who's into sport.
Yeah,
but
it's an unusual
very
mix.
funny. So he is the one, he actually, in fairness to him, he keeps track of everything I'm doing more than I do and does it quietly. And he'll send me things that he's seen, or he'll say, oh, that thing that you did or whatever. So I know for a fact he will listen to this. He keeps track of everything. He's very supportive, cute older brother. And for my birthday, one of my birthdays, he got me a 3-minute video from, your man who plays Ken in Coronation Street?
Yeah, Ken Barlow.
Ken Barlow?
Yeah.
A 3-minute video of him wishing me happy birthday.
Wow. 3 minutes is quite a long time
So
for a happy birthday message. That is they call it cameo. Is that what they call it, where you can pay somebody to give you a message?
It was just so random and unexpected. I was like,
I
what
love
the
that.
fuck? And then the other brother, he's more low key. So he knows everything that's going on, but he pretends that he doesn't.
Because he doesn't want to give you the satisfaction, or
Something. I don't know.
something like that. Yeah.
I don't know.
Or is he
I think
giving you
it's
your
really
space?
because he used to be the favourite, right? He used to be the favourite. And then I fucking swooped in and I knocked it out of the park. He's like, this stupid bitch. So I think maybe that's what it is. I could be wrong.
We haven't talked about books yet.
Yes.
The point I'm making about getting into your house and getting a sense of who's knocking around is your relationship with reading was as a youngster,
Okay.
as a very young person. So
Yes.
was your dad shouting books at you? Was your mum giving it a bit more time? Or were you on your own with the books? Or were you the library goer? Like, what was happening
I
for you?
think my dad was very much trying to get us to read because he's very much into like American Civil War history books, like big chunky
Wow.
books.
Yeah.
He's not reading anything light. He's reading, it's all information.
Yes. Okay.
I used to then go about my own business, and I used to be reading like my brother's comics, and they're like Beanos and
Great.
Dandies and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't like it, but the Enid Blyton and all that.
Yeah.
I was like, get that. I was like, this is crap. So it definitely, I think, I did go to the library a bit with my mum, definitely. And it was just like, pick whatever you want. You know what I mean? So a lot of the time, if I'm thinking about that, those kind of books, if it was like, free reign, go at the books, I was getting books. It was probably from my mum, maybe in a way, like kind of something a bit creative.
Yeah.
Makey doey thing,
Yeah,
maybe with
yeah.
a bit of a story. Or if I found a book that I liked, I did get obsessed about it then. So they had a book about, and I can't remember what it was, but it was like a fairy book, and it was all this stuff about fairy, and it was like makey dewy stuff about fairies. Oh, sure, I took it to the extreme. I started writing letters to the fairies out in the garden.
Yeah.
The fairies were writing back. This was like a year-long correspondence. So the fairies would write these little tiny letters, like my mum, obviously. But the fairies write these
What?
Yeah, what?
No way.
So I think she was really trying to like, my dad was probably trying to instill like knowledge
Yes.
and academic side, whereas my mum, I think, more creative and imagination and stuff like that. And then I think the first time I remember finding a book that I was crazy about was in school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you like school?
I actually did.
For all of it, or for the first, like as a kid?
No, all of it.
You were happy in school?
I was happy enough.
I'm trying to
yes.
figure you out in terms of, like, were you flibberty gibbet? I mean, did you?
Yeah.
Were you kind of easily distracted? Is what I'm trying to say.
I was actually
you?
okay. So primary school I quite liked, and then I would have been like, a little bit sporty. Now, never in clubs or anything, but like sporty enough to like throw in on something, just do a bit of something. They say, you do that. And I'll be like, okay. But nowhere, like, basically what happened is we'd do sport in school and then we would all go to Santry.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we'd see what it was all about.
The athletics, so you see the real people.
Yeah. So we thought we were grand, we were fast. I remember the first time we went, like in first year, and we were all there in our O'Neill's tracksuit bottoms, and we see all these ones warming up, and we're behind a bush having a smoke. And we're like, what's that all about? We're like, look at them wearing the knicker shorts. Oh my God. We were like running in O'Neill's and Air Max. I didn't get through. I didn't get out of my heat.
Yeah.
But what was I like in school? I think primary school, I changed school. So when you change school, it's sink or swim.
Yeah.
You better like...
It's the Hunger Games.
Yeah. You going to puke in the corner? You going to be Little Miss Puke for the whole year? Or are you going to put on a show for these people?
So you put on a show.
Bitch, you better work. So I was doing everything for these fuckers. I was singing, dancing. I got a friend. I instilled somebody else. She puppets. I was like, great. We're doing a puppet show. So I know.
To ingratiate yourself. Is that it?
Yeah.
So you're like puppets. You were like, give them to me. Like Jim Henson over here. Like, let's do it. Let's get them.
It wasn't even the good ones. It was these ones.
The strings.
Strings.
Yeah, you're doing strings. You were doing the mouth, and now you're doing the strings. Yes. So they're very clunky and very Victorian. So you're like a Victorian puppet master.
With this complexion, you can imagine.
So
I did that. And then secondary school,
We'll go there in a
middle.
minute. We'll go there in a minute.
middler.
What I want to ask you about is the book from your childhood.
Yes.
Because we asked you to pick 3 books from your life, and one is
Yes.
from the childhood. So did you have much trouble picking this one? And what have you gone with and why?
No, I didn't have much trouble with this one at all. I went with The Story of Tracy Beaker.
Jacqueline Wilson.
Yes.
Loved it. She's so sorry. I just find the subject matter of her books are so brilliant and bonkers.
Yes.
And kind of depressing, like Ken
Yes.
Loach for kids. Like
Yes,
mad.
exactly. And
Sorry,
I think,
but go on and maybe explain
I think that really suited me. So when I was introduced to her, she's in a children's home, and then she's talking about
straight away, like.
yes,
Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Children's home.
And she is talking about her mother in the kind of a fantasy of who her mother is and whatever. And she's been a bit of a wagon to people as well. But I think even at that age, I understood that she was being like that because she was upset about other stuff in her life. But it was so funny. And she used to, I'm talking about how she's a real person, but in her diary, she used to draw these little pictures. And I just remember howling as a kid. I just thought it was absolutely hilarious. And I don't think I'd really seen a book that was hilarious. So I'd read Roald Dahl and stuff, but this was like about a girl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was about like a funny girl who wasn't perfect. Because even the way she described herself and like her curly, tight black hair, but her mother was, obviously this glamorous kind of Hollywood star looking woman. And, I think it was even just a child of that age, a girl talking about how she didn't like her appearance was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And I loved the book, was totally inspired by it. Now, because I had, at that age, I had read like Adrian Wells and stuff like that. Well, that would have been a bit later, but Tracy Beaker really stuck with me. And so much so that really inspired me then to write myself.
Amazing.
So I started writing after that. And I have a diary from, I think it's like 1995.
Yes.
So I would have been 11. Oh my
Yes.
It is full of shite. So my brother's now wife is in the book.
Wow.
I've drawn pictures of her.
I kind of like this needs to be published already.
It is. There is a bit in the diary, right, where I'm in school. I'm writing it in school, in primary school. And you know the way when the teacher was out, people would maybe get sent to another class?
Yeah.
So we're in 6th class and a girl gets sent in from 4th class. And I'm writing about who does she think she is? She's coming into our classroom, putting up her hand, answering questions. Like she's in 6th class, the state of her.
Yeah. This is your early comedy. Yes. Like you were writing your sketches. This is amazing.
I've drawn a picture of the girl and my teacher. I've done her at her knees going, please, can I kiss your shoes? And then I have written, this is the most embarrassing thing ever. Then I have written, lick, lick, lick in all caps. I could just see like the jealousy of it all.
Wow.
Just the whole thing. How dare her come into our class and start brown nosing the teacher. So I'd have all these things about like boys in the diary.
Oh yeah.
And there's a page where I like
Ken Barlow.
How sad is this?
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Ken Barlow, thank God. I put on lipstick. I kissed the page.
Oh yes.
Over and over
yes.
and over.
At
again.
11, you're 11?
Yeah.
Yeah, your mum's lipstick. Okay. This is great. Well, this is the one I want to read. I mean, strangely. But to go back to Jacqueline Wilson for a moment,
Yes.
I think it's a really interesting point you make about Roald Dahl, Enid Blyton. They were of an age and of a
Yes.
time. Jacqueline Wilson was nearly the first to say, okay, imperfection, discuss.
Yes.
Dreaming, discuss. Being parents not together, discuss. The children's home. Wrapped up with social history meets comedy meets a kind story. I mean, these were impressive stories, and they weren't just like panto villains and stuff like that.
And I think as well, in fairness, now I know obviously I was a kid, but even if I think about the TV that I would have been watching at the time, like we would have been well used to American shows where we kind of felt like, oh, here they are, they're wedging in an issue now to like teach us a lesson. Like they were always doing that in shows. Like there was one thing in California Dreams where there was one of them that was playing Tiffany. They were all Tiffany or Kelly, whatever. And she was doing volleyball. It's like she wasn't making the team or whatever. So somebody gave her steroids. And within 20 minutes, she was addicted to steroids and she was punching her locker. And we were all just like, oh God, this is like, what are they doing here? But with the Jacqueline Wilson books, even though she was covering all these things, you didn't feel like it was just being used to like, I want to use this issue.
Shoehorn point. Yeah.
It actually felt like there was actually a story and characters. So it didn't feel, as a child, it didn't feel like contrived to me.
It wasn't patronising.
Even though I would have been totally cynical, like, I would have been a totally cynical kid, like, even.
Yeah.
You know?
How come you were so cynical as a kid?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm just trying to figure out.
I was like, I'm not going to figure it out.
I'm not going to figure it out by asking it, but we might get conclusions by the end of our chat.
Yeah,
but
maybe.
Let's move on. So we kind of last had you in school as a puppeteer and sort of a slightly needy, lick-hating, angry young woman. Who's developed an interest for Jacqueline Wilson and kind of the slightly, unfortunate children among us, right? So that's where we have you. Let's head into your teens now and kind of give us a sense of like, were you a good teenager? Did you hate being a teenager? How was life as a teenager?
I just lied nonstop. I could not help myself.
Why?
Because my parents were very strict, and I mean, I say that to people and they're like, well, you got pregnant. I think they had to be, but they were just so I was the only girl, very strict. And you know that thing of like, everyone's going, but I was like, everyone's going. So then I was just like,
everyone's going to the party, the disco,
whatever. So then I was like, I'm just going to fast track this, and I'm just going to lie
and say,
and I just say, I'm going bowling, or I'm sleeping in whoever's house, whatever. And to be honest, it kind of worked out great. Like, I was only caught a couple of times. And there was only a bit of devilment, and most of it was just curiosity. So I wanted to smoke because I wanted to see what it was like.
Yes.
I didn't want to actually get addicted because I saw my parents were addicted, and I was like, no, it's a waste of money, but I want to see what it's like. Fast track, gives a drag off that, whatever. But it wasn't bad. Like, I never wanted to be on the wrong side of my parents. I actually still got on with my parents all throughout my teens. And I would do that thing of, I was like, I'm so pissed off at them now, and I'm going to remember this until tomorrow. And then by the time tomorrow would come, I would say, hey, how are you? So I think I actually always wanted to get on my parents because I had a very good base with them.
Okay.
I was very
foundations
close.
were strong.
Yeah, I was very close to them. So it wasn't about rebelling against them. It was more just about, I just wanted to do what I wanted to do.
What year were you in school when you were pregnant?
I was in sixth year.
Sixth year. So what age would you have been?
I was 18. So I found out, like, say, in the September.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell me about telling your folks.
Oh, yeah. So I really didn't know what I wanted to tell them. And, only girl, older brothers, I was just like, oh my God, they're going to flip. But I was like, I knew I had to tell them because I was like, nothing's going to happen until I tell them. And I was in this terrible thing where it was on my mind all the time. I could not think of anything else.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was really scared. Yeah. I was really scared. I was basically just like, I've totally fucked my life now.
Yeah.
What have I done? And just really, really scared. And I was thinking about it nonstop. It was the only thing in my head. And they definitely knew something was wrong with me because I'd be like booming around the house, or, I'd see a glass and I'd be like, Mr. Glass, how are you? Whoa, whoa, singing around the house. And that was all gone. I was like, yeah, right. I'm good. But I think my mom told me after she just saw, I was like, oh, she's in sixth year. You never know what could be going on with mates or whatever. So I wrote her a letter because a couple of times I'd actually tried to say it to her and it just would not come out of my mouth. And the house was probably a bit stressful at the time because my dad's mom was dying and he would have been really close to her. Like, he would have visited her every day.
There's a lot going on.
In the house. And I was like, I'll write a letter. And the letter was like, I think the letter was like 2 pages. So, and as well, you see, a big part of it was I didn't want her to know that I'd had sex.
Yeah.
I was embarrassed now that she would know that I had, because I hadn't introduced her to any like boyfriends or whatever. So I was like, the letter was real kind of like slipped and fell, like I was really like, I just would never done it before. And I'm sure she was like, get to the fucking point, reading the letter. So I left the letter and I baited over to Laura. She's before Laura had been friends with me. And then I was like real sketchy in the house. And Laura's like, how are you? Whatever. I'm like, I'm grand. Like looking at
Laura know?
She knew. Yeah, because she had been there. Not there, but she knew the story. She was actually the only one who knew the full story pretty much from the start. Like, in real time with me. And then my mum, there was a knock at the door and it was my mum.
She'd read the letter.
She'd read the letter. She called over and she's standing there and she just gave me a big hug.
Oh, man.
Big long hug. And she just said, come home whenever you're ready. And I did really kind of like, you know, like drop into her arms because I probably had been avoiding any sort of physical contact with her. Because I would have been quite huggy and... I mean, I would have still, like, if she was in bed, I would have jumped into the bed beside her.
Yeah,
you know?
so you were tactile and it wasn't a Victorian friendship.
No, not at all. But so I'd been probably avoiding her because I was probably afraid that if I had any contact with her that I'd break down.
Yeah.
So I was like, I was shielding myself. So that was my first release with her. And I just kind of, you know, I held on to her because I could feel myself kind of like feeling heavy. And then... yeah, so that was it. And then I heard her tell my dad on the phone and I thought, oh my God, my dad's going to hate me now. He's absolutely going to hate me. And he was like, the first thing I heard him say about it was, I quite like the idea of being a granddad.
Oh.
And I was like,
oh, that's really...
I was like, Daddy, I was like, oh, good. Now I heard after that, when my mom told me out, like years later, that when she read the letter, she collapsed. She said she fell on the kitchen floor and she said, she's like, I still have the letter, Emma. And I was like, I don't think even now I could look at that letter just to see how addled and scared that girl was, you know, to write that letter. Even though with the kind of nonsense behind it, just to, I would be able to see what her thought process was. And I was like, I don't want to ever see that letter. And maybe I'll look at it when like I'm an elderly woman or something. But
yeah, it's an important document in your life, though.
Yes,
it
maybe
is
I
really.
will. Yeah, I will look at it at some point.
Yeah.
But I was like, not right now.
Pretty heroic response from your folks, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think they're just real. And obviously they had, you wouldn't be aware of it as a teenager, but I saw that book going.
They well spotted.
They had lived their own life. They had been through their own upsets and traumas and crises. Yeah. And I certainly anyway didn't know that as a teenager. You know what I mean? I would have just looked at my parents as, they're kind of the real people and, you know, is she ever going to make a decent dinner? Kind of a thing. But then you learn they're actually people as well.
Let's go to the book that changed your life.
Yes.
What one did you pick and why?
I picked my own book. Is that bad? Yeah, I picked my own book because, everyone knows that story.
Yes.
That's, it's kind of, I suppose it's kind of like, is she ever going to shut up about it? But I probably won't. But I think the thing about crisis pregnancy is when people go through that, whatever the outcome, after the fact, they've got to just kind of, now I have to get on with life, or they have to figure that out. So they don't have much time to reflect.
Yeah.
So I think that's why people always ask me about it, because, a lot of people have their own stories about it. But for me, writing the book, it was the connection with people that I wasn't expecting. So, obviously stand-up is great and you get an immediate
hit
love and it's brilliant. But with the book, like I had just a small book launch, and my old art teacher came.
Interesting. Who
I hadn't seen in, 20 years or whatever. But it just meant so much to me, because I'm like, wow, that woman would have seen me all the way through secondary school. So, the years where I was coming in like, no, I'll tell you something, all attitude and whatever, like, no, miss, no, seriously, no, you want to see the state of them, all that. And then she obviously, I'm sure they could spot. Yeah. They probably spotted what was going on before girls in the class did, because I probably wouldn't have really said it to the whole year until maybe I was like 5 or 6 months. I'm sure all the teachers knew. But it was just something so, I don't know, it was something so moving about people from your past who knew the old you, them kind of saying, we think you're great now, but we loved the old you as well.
Yes,
It's just something really...
authentic.
Yeah.
So the book... Mad, isn't it? You wrote that. Your dad must have been very proud as a book lover to see his daughter pull a book together. Congratulations.
And he read the book.
Yeah, of course he did.
And then he rang me about the book, because, again, there was loads of stuff in the book that my parents didn't know about. Yeah. I was like, oh, God. You kind of think, should I wait until these people are dead? And then you're like, well, I told them I'd write it by Christmas or whatever. So you're like, oops. But it was, he was really... excited about it and really complimentary. And there was stuff actually in the book about their mothers, which they absolutely love. So I didn't really think about it too much at the time, because I suppose when you're writing a book, you're kind of trying to get the book together.
Sure.
Or whatever. But I wrote a bit about both their mothers, and they just loved those, because where else, I suppose, would they've had a piece in a book about the warmth of their own mother's house and what her sitting room was like.
Yes.
And,
it's there forever now as well.
Yeah.
And the book changed your life in the sense that...
I think it was kind of, for me, it was a confidence thing.
Great.
That I just kind of went, oh, okay, like this is like who I am. And it's like, right, everything's kind of like out there now. And then, most people seem to be okay with that.
Yeah.
Because I think probably, if I'm being honest, and it pains me, I'm just like, it really actually annoys me. But I'd say my biggest thing has been confidence. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm kind of a realist or something. You know, I'm quite a positive person, but I'm like, sometimes I feel like maybe I would do well with a bit more delusion.
But nothing you've said since we started talking has suggested you'd have confidence issues. And I'm not saying that to be smart.
Yes, I think maybe stand up. Stand up, I think, and probably nobody really talks about it, but it's so easy on stage for something to happen, and people can be laughing and everything can look like it's going well, but the smallest thing can happen and you just go, oh, it's fucked.
Oh, really? And
it's
the yips, as they call it.
Yeah, and even when people come up to you and say, brilliant, great night, we've been looking forward to this, like, you know, really complimentary, they'll walk away and you go, you fucking thick.
Yeah.
That was shite.
Wow.
Yeah.
Are you hard on yourself, or are you honest with yourself? Do you think you're being hard on yourself, or are you just saying, look, you're just calling the truth?
I think now I'm maybe at a point where I'm thinking I'm hard on myself more than I used to.
Let me ask you about, so you became a mum at 18 or 19? 18.
18, yeah.
And you had a little girl, obviously.
Yes.
And that was, how many years ago now? Sorry.
22.
Holy smoke. Okay.
Yes.
Did you enjoy being a young mum? And how's your daughter doing? And because you're so close in age, it must be a lovely thing. I think it's probably really...
Do you know what? I really enjoyed it.
Did you? Was it challenging?
Yeah, but I think that's just... parenthood. Like, even if somebody now is having, you know, a baby when they're 35 and they're trying to like decide what they're going to do about their job and try and keep everything going, and, you know, their relationship. I mean, I didn't have a relationship. In lots of ways, I think, thank God I didn't have a relationship. And we were so close because it was just the two of us. Yeah. But I really enjoyed it. And she is so funny. And I really feel like she is my soulmate. Like, obviously I love my boys, but I really feel like she was meant to happen. You know, I don't know how life would have happened if she wasn't in it. Like, it was totally meant to be. She is now, in my family, there's like a joke where people say she's the daughter my father always wanted, because she's very academic.
Is she?
Yes.
That's great. That's a good line, though, isn't it?
She did when she got all full points in her leaving cert.
Wow! Holy smoke!
The 6, whatever it is.
Oh my God! She's one of those.
She's a big lick.
She's a big lick.
She doesn't drink. She doesn't smoke.
Oh my God!
So I have to like go. She's not a dry shite. People are like, she doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, doesn't do any of that.
Wow.
She did psychology, and now she's doing a PhD in Cork.
Wow.
And she's there talking to me the other day about there might be some link up with a college in Boston to, you know, that she's as part of her research. So she's all go. But I mean, obviously she's a big old lick and whatever. But it's great to see her out there enjoying her life. And the thing I love about her is that she's not afraid to do new things.
Yes.
So, you know, she'd talk about going away and doing this. I'm just like, brilliant. I love the fact that she's just so...
Get up and go.
Get up and go.
Let's talk about the book that brings you joy. Your daughter clearly brings you joy, the way you're talking about it there. But the book you brought in for us is... this is one I wasn't expecting.
Oh, really?
I've heard great things about it.
Did you not read it?
No, I haven't read it.
Oh, I loved it.
Tell us about it. Who is it and what is it?
So it's Seamus O'Reilly. Did you hear Mammy Died? Now, I didn't know a lot about this book.
Yeah.
And the only thing I knew about it was, you know, from Ireland AM, 10.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
10 siblings.
Yeah, 10.
Yeah. Tommy,
Yeah.
Tommy Bow. Yeah,
Tommy
yeah.
Bow. Sorry, Tommy.
Is that the one?
That's the one, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
That's terrible that we know it from.
Should we quote on the back of the book?
10 siblings.
10.
Oh my God. So what is it about?
So Seamus, it's written from his perspective as a young child. His mother dies when he's 5. So you think, oh, this is not going to be joyful. But it is like the book is a love letter to his family. It's how the family after that and his father and all the people involved. But it's so funny.
Yes.
It is really, really funny. And for me, when I was reading this, my fella, his mother died when he was 14.
Yes.
Now, obviously, I'll never understand that and I can't relate to it because
Very young, yeah.
I don't even think your head lets you.
Yeah.
You know, you don't think about that. But it definitely gave me a new understanding of what it must have been like in his house. So she died when he was 14, but she spent a lot of his childhood being sick.
Yeah.
And so, because he was actually like, I can't read it, Emma. He's like, I can't. But it gave me a new understanding of that. And I thought it was lovely to see a dad written in such a gorgeous way. And obviously I'm a big daddy's girl. And there's bits about, you know, the troubles in Ireland and stuff. And it reminded me of my dad. When we, as a family, we went to London once. I was like, kid. It was my first time abroad. So I was like very excited. Like I've got the bum bag, you know, all the essentials. Right. And we go off to London. We go to walk down the street and it's all cordoned off. And there's a police officer and my dad goes, what's the story? Like our hotel is down here. I thought, sorry, there's a bum scare. There's a bum scare. And my dad looks at the police officer and just rolls around, breaks his shit laughing. He's like, oh, there's a bum scare. Where would you get it? And I swear, I was like, maybe this isn't the best reaction. But it was like, it reminded me then the humour from their perspective as kids. They've nothing that know, like they don't know what's going on or whatever. But it's most of it, the most thing is really, it's just really, really funny. And the mom dying is a kind of a side thing.
Yes.
And did you hear mommy died? That's basically about he's 5. He's no real understanding.
Yeah.
The house is full of people and the joke in the family is he's going around to people with a big smile on his face going, did you hear mommy died?
Yeah.
So he's delighted that he has a little bit of news for people.
So it's that lovely dark humour as well, isn't
yes,
it? Yeah,
and he does it so well and it's a lovely book.
Now, what I would like to ask you, Emma, as we head towards the end of our conversation, is, first of all, I love your story. Like, I've really enjoyed hearing about your life story and kind of jumping up to today.
Yes.
The person you are today, and you're achieving so much, and you're touring, and you just seem exceptionally busy. And are you happy?
Yes. I'm pretty happy.
Yeah. That felt a bit qualified.
No, I was trying to think about it in an honest way.
Yeah.
Do you know what? I'm at a great point in my life. So, like, my youngest is 10. He just has cream crackers in his lunchbox.
Yeah,
like
gone.
that.
He's
Do you know
gone.
what I mean? He doesn't care. He's on the trampoline.
Yeah.
He's got his own life to live now. Yeah, like, and Ella's getting on great. My mum and dad are all good. Like, everything's pretty good.
Yeah, it's nice to be able to say that, isn't it?
Fancy my fella, you know.
That's great.
We squeeze the odd ride in now and again.
Looming or silent, whatever it is.
So no, I'm pretty happy, to be honest.
What is the name of the autobiography you haven't written yet?
Yes.
I mean, because we have Mad, Isn't It? And that is there for everyone to enjoy and love. But now that we've moved on a few years since you wrote that,
yes.
What are you thinking?
I would like my next one to be called Sex, Drugs and Rock and Roll. Okay?
Okay.
So what I want, this is what I'm predicting. I haven't done half the drugs I want to do. And I think I'm going to start slowly in my 50s. Yeah. I'm going to start really, here we go. Come on. And I don't know if this is strange, but I think this might fall apart. But wouldn't it be interesting to be in my 70s and be a dominatrix?
Well, why not?
And I think, wouldn't that be so fun? Because I think people that do it that are like good looking and young, I'm like, whatever, big whoop. But if you could do that in like your 70s,
yes,
I would assume, I would hope by the time you get to then, you just would not care about anything. And because Matt, isn't it great? She had a kid, so fucking what? Let's
take it up a notch.
Yeah,
Let's take it up a notch.
I think I need to do some stuff.
I've really enjoyed seeing you again.
Thanks.
And it's great because look, the last time we met was it was chat show vibe. It's quick and
it's quick,
it's
isn't it?
it's staged in some ways. Like although I always said to them, don't tell me what's coming up actually, because I like to be amused on air live. I always felt that was kind of but you were somebody I wanted to meet and talk to for an extended period of time, which is why I love this podcast, because I knew there was so much more to talk about, and God, I've really enjoyed it. So thank you for being here.
Did we talk about books though?
We got something about 10 siblings. Emma Doran, you're wonderful. Thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Really enjoyed it. This episode is brought to you by Ballymore, a company that creates places with soul, putting arts and culture at the heart of its work, alongside creating award-winning workspaces, homes and neighbourhoods across the UK, Ireland and wider Europe. To find out more about the places Ballymore is shaping, where people can live, work and play, visit ballymoregroup.com.